Yo, what is up? So for week 8 of summer anime, just another anime review video here for you. I'm gonna talk about some shows I've been watching this season, kind of keeping up. So yeah, we're at week 8, so we have like episodes 8 and 9 for most shows so far. Kind of reaching like the second climax as we get closer to the finale, which is like pretty hype. Also kind of sad because yeah, summer's almost over. There's a lot of shows I've been enjoying. I've really talked about some of them, like City the Animation, which has like such a great kind of direction, such a high quality anime, very funny as well. So for like a Nichijou successor for the Zoomers, this is like a really good show. Dandadan, continues to be like insane every week. Just you can't really predict what's happening. It's like an ADHD fueled show. Yeah, a lot of other shows keep going. I've been enjoying Arknights, which is very nice. Call Up the Night as well. So yeah, I don't really have a script for this video. I'm just gonna like yap about some anime on the top of my head. I might forget some details, forget some names, but yeah, I'll just like talk about some shows. So yeah, let's get started. So first we have City the Animation. I love comedy anime and ones that are like this high quality made by KyoAni. It's just like so beautiful. So yeah, it's kind of like a unique concept. There's like a fantasy city in this world where just like random stuff happens. So if you like see the first few episodes, you might get confused, like, is there even a story going on? Well, yeah, there is. Yeah, there's kind of like some fun stuff happening. So basically, to put it simply, we just see snippets of people's lives in the city and they kind of like mesh together sometimes. People interact. But yeah, our main three characters seem to be these girls. Izumi Wako, who has like this camera, is like taking pictures of people in events. So she seems to be like the main character, just spectating things. There's Nagamo, who's kind of like hard-headed, gets herself into a lot of crazy situations. She works at this ramen shop. There's also Nikura, so they're all like bumming at Nikura's house. So, yeah, some random stuff is happening. Pretty fun show where there's like reoccurring characters where like there's like a girl that's really sleepy and a lot of people are simping over her. There's another girl that's really rich and just like hands out awards to people and kidnaps them. There's like the city soccer team, which is like carried by their star player who gets injured all the time. There's like a lot of like characters in this like colorful, vibrant city. They're just doing things. It's like so funny. And then like one of the episodes, episode 5, was like definitely one of the best episodes of anime this season. Just like the direction, it felt like you were watching like 5 different scenes at the same time with so many characters just like hopping around. It was like so crazy. Like the perspective of episode 5 was nuts. And then yeah, all the other episodes are just like, kind of keeping it funny, adding more to the city, more to the characters. And yeah, that's it for City. So yeah, not really much to talk about since it's like a comedy show. So what, am I gonna explain the jokes to you? So yeah, definitely do recommend it. Also after that we have Dandadan. So yeah, we're at episode 9. And yeah, a lot of stuff is happening. I'm not really a huge fan of the Gigi arc, honestly. But like when I was reading the manga, I also didn't like it because Evil Eye is so annoying, and then he just like causes problems for everybody. So basically, after they found out they can separate him using hot and cold water, they try to control him. But it's just like way too hard. Momo's house is just like destroyed. And then he also almost killed Momo when he transformed one time, and Okarun just like slaps him. So yeah, now Okarun is like the vibe is so awkward. He doesn't want to make up with Gigi. He also sees how weak he is. He can't protect Momo. So a lot of stuff is happening, but basically they kind of speedrun Okarun's character development as like he tries to get stronger. He goes to school at night with Turbo Granny, and then Ira's also there. And there's like this one episode training arc which was so sick. Like it's like some Attack on Titan scene where they were fighting like musical composers and they were like making music and just like summoning giant musical titans, and they were just like swinging around that shit. So it was such a crazy episode. And like again, I don't even know what's happening. It's like a 1 episode training arc where nothing really happens. Turbo Granny's like, oh, you need to find the rhythm, the motion. That's how you get stronger, because you move in a slower tempo than Evil Eye. So if you just like match the tempo, go faster, then you can beat him. That's what she's saying. So yeah, Okarun kind of TLDR has to unlock his latent power. So yeah, he does that in episode 8, and then at the end of the episode, he challenges Gigi to a fight. He challenges the Evil Eye 1v1. I'm gonna beat you. So yeah, he does this, and episode 9 was the actual fight. So it's kind of similar with their like basic like hand-to-hand back and forth, where Evil Eye has like the soccer ball. He can like punch and kick. He can move really fast. But then Okarun, he has a lot of leg strength. He's just like kind of squatting, punching, uppercutting Evil Eye. So it's like a back and forth brawl. But the Okarun, he goes all out. But then after that, he's out of energy. So then Evil Eye is still there. He's not defeated yet. So what do? Well, Okarun kind of baits him. He rage baits him by saying, okay, I won this round. You didn't beat me. And then you gotta fight me again. So then Evil Eye's like, okay, I'm down, I'll fight you again. And then Okarun's like, nah, you gotta do it on my terms. You can't fight every day. We have to fight on Tuesdays after school. You can't hurt anybody else. So yeah, their logic is that Evil Eye is kind of like a newborn baby. So yeah, in this new body, he's just getting accustomed to the human world. So in order to kind of train him, just make him only fight Okarun. And then besides that, have him be like kind of docile and behaved. It's such a interesting way to control him. I'm still not a big fan. I think Evil Eye's so annoying, but they did it. So we pretty much kind of hang out with Evil Eye now. I guess Gigi's gonna control his power, and it's like similar to Ira, just like a new spiritual power is like possessing a character, and now I guess they can fight. So yeah, very insane, very unpredictable. And then there's like a new arc coming up as well, kind of like a mini arc. I think we only have 3 episodes left, so not enough time for a new arc. But yeah, we're getting new characters. Kinta, if you've seen him at the end of episode 9 or at the trailer, he's very funny. And also there's like some kaiju coming up. So, yeah, that's gonna be like so crazy and exciting. Like, how do we even get here? Well, I guess more aliens, more monsters are here. And Dandadan continues. There's like an insane batshit crazy anime. Also after that we have Call of the Night. So we're on episode 9. This is kind of like a climactic episode where it's like Halloween going on. Anko's kind of hunting down these vampires, and also, holy shit, we got Anko backstory plus Nazuna backstory. They are related. I saw from the opening that they might be kind of linked, but I didn't know how. Well, apparently they were childhood friends. They were in the same like kind of night classes. Anko is kind of like a loner, but then Nazuna befriends her. And then, Anko is like going through some trouble with her family. Like her dad was cheating on her mom. So Anko kind of like thought that was very shitty. So she plays Sherlock Holmes. Nazuna plays Watson. And yeah, they had like such a fun relationship actually. I did not expect this at all, but I love how it links here. And yeah, the reason like things went wrong was that Anko's dad was actually cheating on a vampire. So he randomly turned to a vampire one day. And then I guess like the girl broke up with him. So he decided to go back to the family. But the problem is like Anko realizes like old memories, they kind of trigger the vampire. So basically he kind of crashes out at home. He kills the mom. And then Anko, she kind of uses quick thinking, uses like the lighter and just like smacks him in the face and kills him. Anko killed her dad. The mom died. She lost everything because of like some random vampire. I think we see that this vampire is the one that's like grooming Mahiru, maybe. So yeah, we gotta see. But yeah, basically fucked up backstory. I do love how Anko and Nazuna are linked, but it's also kind of scary because I don't want them to fight. I don't want Anko to die. I don't want Mommy with the grippers. See, she's one of like the best characters of this anime. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen. But basically, she starts shooting the vampires in public with guns in Halloween. So Anko's just like running around, and then she does meet up with Nazuna at the end of this episode at school. But insane anime. The music is there, the nighttime vibes are there, and things are escalating. So yeah, shit's popping off. All right, so for Gachiakuta episode 8. So yeah, we kind of had like this big fight happening for the past few episodes where Rudo and some cleaners, they get baited to come into like this abandoned building and get like trapped and ambushed. So this was kind of like the most obvious thing ever. These cleaners are getting attacked. We see there's some characters with different powers. There's like this girl that controls mud clones, and this other dude that can skate on things. So yeah, there's like some other characters with their vital objects out here. We see Nichiku with the stick kind of like helping out, and then also Rudo is there because yeah, they reach like this actual strong dude named Jabber. He has poison claws as his weapon, and it looks like he's crazy. It looks like most of these villains in this world are crazy. I guess he would be if you live in the garbage planet. But yeah, Jabber was super annoying. I think it was intentional, definitely. But like, goddamn, he took so much damage. He's like, my power makes me go berserk, also makes me ignore the damage. It's just like so unbelievable though, where he's just like getting like thrown through concrete walls, his face getting dragged. Rudo and Nichiku kind of teaming up on him, but yeah, it's not enough. So yeah, I thought like this random first villain we actually see, it was a bit too tanky for some reason. But yeah, I mean, he poisons Rudo and Nichiku, so they look like they're left for dead. But yeah, no one really dies here. We also see Gris, who's like the dude with the strong grip strength, and he also gets super injured, but he's also alive. And he gives Rudo like his like kind of pendant, his luck charm. And then yeah, Rudo also uses that as like a defense shield. But basically Jabber kind of like escapes the building. There's like this other like girl that's like also helping him. And then yeah, we see that there's like a boss that's kind of targeting Rudo, I guess because he's from the spear. And basically, yeah, I just thought Jabber was annoying, but the story kind of goes on. We see they're saying that Rudo's vital instrument, his gloves, is part of like the series, like maybe like the Watchmen series or something, they're saying. They're setting up some things that's interesting. So yeah, maybe Rudo's gloves are like kind of related to something. Also, maybe this dude who's targeting him is his dad, because that might make sense. His dad was missing and he knows so much about Rudo. But besides that, most of the other casts are kind of helping, which is nice and wholesome. We see Rio. So she's kind of like very friendly and inviting. Engine's just like laughing at everybody. We also see like the actual leader of the cleaners this episode. So he's just like some random humble dude. Looks like there's like a lot of good people here, the cleaners, which is nice. And then everyone else we're fighting are gonna be like crazy psycho garbage people. So that's going on. Like the story's pretty much shonen slop, but the animation and the action is like very high quality, so I do like that part. And yeah, besides that, Rudo kind of like getting stronger, trying to control his power. There's still like a lot he has to learn. But yeah, more world building, more garbage monsters, more camaraderie with the squad. Also after that, we have Arknights episode 9. I'm gonna talk about the Arknights story. I've been loving this season. It's just like a cool feel with Tallulah, the final boss, getting a lot of backstories. I have to say though, if you have not touched any Arknights at all, not even played like a single minute of the game, you will be lost, I feel like. Because if you played the stages and you've seen the bosses, the anime does make sense. Even if you haven't read the story. But if you have not touched Arknights, like the pacing is like pretty fast. There's like a lot of like details and characters that are brought up. So yeah, that's like one kind of problem with this season, which is not really its fault because it has to like jam so much stuff in. Basically, the TLDR version is basically that Tallulah is controlling the Flying City Ursus. He's gonna slam it into Lungman. Chen is trying to stop her. Amiya, Rhodes Island, and the Doctor are also trying to stop her. So yeah, they beat Patriot. Now they have to beat Tallulah. We see Doctor and Calcid are doing their own side event where they fight Mephisto. That was kind of crazy. There was some like lore drops there, but also this current episode, episode 9, Amiya transforms into guard Amiya, bro. That's like cinema right there. One of the best moments of the actual game, and then it's like animated here. I loved it. So basically, Amiya kind of teams up with Chen. She like is able to see Tallulah's memories with their mind reading powers, and also she sees that Tallulah is possessed out of left field. But basically, Tallulah's adopted dad. So yeah, he's possessing Tallulah even though like he's dead. I guess we have to exorcise that snake from her. So yeah, that's happening. But yeah, Amiya turns into guard Amiya, like inherits Chen's sword. She has like this metal arm with the red sword. It looks so cool. And yeah, basically Arknights does continue. If you played the game, yeah, this season is like very fun. Kind of wraps the previous 2 seasons together, and it's like a satisfying boss fight. Also after that, we have Ruri Rocks. So yeah, the high quality slice of life show. A lot of thick women out here. But basically, Ruri, she's the main character. She's like driving so many things. She's a bit forceful with some of these expeditions, but she's discovering so many minerals. But I'm like, girl, your friends are in college. They're busy researching, writing their own papers, studying. You're kind of bothering them a bit too much, but she's like so obsessed with rocks. She's like going out at every opportunity to find like rare resources. And then yeah, she also finds a friend in school that also likes rocks, but then like her parents like disapproved. A lot of people thought she was weird because she's like a girl that likes digging through rocks, but yeah, she's like really smart and knowledgeable. She actually like mogs Ruri with her knowledge, and then they go on a beach. They find like glass on the beach, which is actually like kind of pretty rare. So a lot of stuff happening. More characters, very wholesome every week. So yeah, your Ruri Rocks continues. High quality, thick women. Not much else to talk about. But yeah, Ruri's like succeeding at every corner. Also after that, we have Sakamoto Days, episode 8. This season has been really funny. I've been enjoying it a lot more than season 1, maybe because there's like a actual like crazy ass plot line, more action. So yeah, that's where like the anime kind of shines. I did enjoy the slice of life in the first part, but yeah, there was like some negativity with the animation. Here, the animation's like pretty much very similar, but it just like looks a bit better, it looks a bit cleaner. So yeah, that's there. There's still like a lot of like goofy world building, just like these assassins killing each other. Like they had this fight on the plane, which I didn't really like the idea of like killing all these people on the plane. These are like actual like people. They didn't do anything wrong. But basically a lot of like assassins died, so now they're like exam as they're kind of going to like this transfer exam. But yeah, there's like a lot of like OP characters here, and then we see like there's this blue-haired girl as well. It looks like Sakamoto knows her mom. And then she has like cool knitting skills, but she's also like very insecure. But it looks like when she's in the zone, she's like a really strong assassin. So yeah, that shit's going on. A lot more characters. We see Shin's kind of bonding with this like 14-year-old Giga Chat assassin as well. So yeah, some cool arcs are coming up. There's one problem I did have with episode 8 actually in specific, where the Sakamoto and their team, they're getting gunned down. So then blue-haired girl was able to escape and then actually like kind of slash one of the dude's throats. And then Sakamoto and the other team member were like, bro, you're kind of going too hard. I'm like, this is like an assassin fight. His life or death. They're shooting at you. What are you saying? That was like one small problem I had, where it's like, okay, it's okay for everyone else to kill people, but we can't have the main characters kill people. Like, what the hell? I really like the fight with Slur, though. That shit was insane. The old man doing, like, his katana shit. Like, he's next level. Literally the ghost. So, a lot of cool moments, hype moments, if you will, and aura in this anime. So we'll see what's gonna happen as this kind of, like, assassin training exam, like, continues. Also, we have Secrets of the Silent Witch, episode 9. Next week's also a recap episode, by the way, which is kind of sad. But basically, yeah, the anime's super cute. I love following Monica Everett, bro. She's saving people. She's overpowered. She's destroying the strongest magical spells with like minutes of effort. So yeah, I mean, she's overpowered, but yeah, her weakness is talking to people. We see there's some villains here, some school drama. So yeah, Monica's going through a lot of like sad moments as she's trying to protect the prince. But basically, the story kind of continues. It's very interesting at times, but also like kind of feels like a classic, like, student council type of anime. So yeah, that's going on. I do like it just for following Monica. So yeah, she's precious. Gotta protect her. But besides that, I'm watching every week. I've been really liking her facial expressions. The show's like really cute. There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless, the Toxic Yuri anime. So there was some drama with the blonde-haired girl Mai just like being way too touchy and pushy with Renako. So yeah, they kind of resolved that, but also I feel like we've lost the plot the past few episodes. It was like some drama with the black-haired girl Satsuki, who was like Mai's childhood friend, and she kind of feels betrayed that Mai is like going out with Reneko, and then she feels like left behind. She has to always compete with her. So yeah, that's going on, but also it feels like they can't really talk out their feelings, so they decide to have like a CS:GO match, and then the winner gets to marry Reneko, but if Reneko wins, they have to make up. So it feels kind of pointless, I guess. There's like a better way to solve the issues. I do love seeing Reneko though, so hopefully things work out for her, but you know, she's overcoming her social anxiety, hang out with more people, just like forming this Yuri harem with everybody. We also have Dr. Stone Science Future, so yeah, part 2 episode 8. So we've been kind of pretty much running away from Stanley this whole season. It feels like a bit weird that he's the villain. He's trying to kill these guys. They did like such a backwards way where they're like, oh, we got hostages in the Corn City, but basically this episode kind of was a bit serious because people are actually dying. So yeah, we see Kohaku, Tsukasa, and Hyoga, I think the spear guy, as they try to ambush Stanley's forces because we see that Suika, she went undercover, but she got discovered. So basically, yeah, Kohaku wanted to rescue Suika. Everyone else is there. And then, yeah, they just get shot down. So it was like a cool fight scene where they're kind of targeting their communication device, because if they can't communicate back to Corn City, then, you know, Senku and their team, they can like fight them without worrying about any hostages. But the problem is they have to sacrifice themselves. But it's crazy. So we see Kohaku and Tsukasa get shot down. Also Hyoga, I think he's dead. They like Tsukasa confirmed that he died. So basically, yeah, 07, rest in peace to that dude. I guess we don't have to find out, like we don't have to make any trials for him. He just dies. But basically, Tsukasa and Kohaku are like bleeding out. They're shot. They're left there for dead. I'm like, oh my god, I know they won't die. I know, you can't kill Kohaku. People will riot. But it looks like they might save them using the green beam, just like beam the whole island, and then I guess Suika will revive them. Maybe, but she gets kidnapped. So yeah, I guess we'll see what's gonna happen. But you know, crazy escalations here. You know, characters are actually dead. They're just inventing things, motorcycles, diamonds. It's all going on very quickly. But yeah, you know, when Stanley's here, I guess he's like a villain that doesn't fuck around. So yeah, you can't really beat him one-on-one. He has guns. So we'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, an insane episode here where people are dying. But besides that, you know, Dr. Stone has been goofy before this. Like just like a lot of like, you know, fast-paced science. But I guess now shit's getting serious as we're kind of like reaching like this final battle. Also, we have My Dress Up Darling season 2, episode 9. Very wholesome show. Nothing much to say. Just like I guess there's like a theme happening this season as well, where you know characters have like some type of insecurity, where like you know people didn't accept who they were, and then now in high school they're kind of like hanging out with each other, and then they do accept each other. So it's just like a wholesome kind of like people getting friends type of theme in this season. It looks like where we see just like the cross-dressing dude. We see everyone's like very positive and supporting of Gojo's like doll making, because you know he's very skilled, and also like creating all these cosplays for Marin. Marin's just there, you know, living her best life, hanging out with her man's Gojo. We see that they're trying to prepare for a cosplay for this like horror game, so that's going on. We see Juju gets called, so she's also like kind of reluctantly appearing there. There's some drama happening actually, so that's kind of interesting. Like some characters don't like each other. Maybe Marin, she has like such a high energetic personality, and some other girl doesn't like that. So yeah, you know, there's some interesting stuff happening. But your story's like very slice of life based, but nothing too like spicy or interesting. But you know, high quality, wholesome continuation as well. We see there's like some cliffhanger. It was like pretty stupid, but yeah, Gojo and Marin, they kind of sleep over at Marin's house, and yeah, they want to like play like this horror game together to like get ready for the cosplays. But then the problem is they're like shopping for like clothes for Gojo. I'm like, can't he sleep in his blue uniform? But also, like, Gojo gets some energy drinks because he doesn't want to sleep at Marin's house because he feels, like, awkward. So he says, like, this line as he's looking at, like, these, like, kind of stamina energy drinks in Don Quixote, where he's like, oh, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Marin gets the wrong idea. It's like pretty awkward, and you know, just like the hijinks ensue, and then cliffhanger. Oh, Marin thinks Gojo's gonna sleep with her. So yeah, again, nothing's gonna happen. But you know, there's some developments there as you know, Dress Up Darling does continue. We also have Karuhana, the Fragrant Flower. I've been also keeping up with it. Also, the theme is like pretty similar to Dress Up Darling, where like you know, a lot of characters, they have like trauma in their past. People are like misunderstood in like the delinquent school. But yeah, you know, like the big dude, he has the cake shop. Everyone is supporting him. He's making all these friends in high school. So, you know, like the anime is like pretty standard, a bit uneventful, I'd say. And then there's like a lot of tropes happening to kind of like progress the story. But you know, that's fine. That's standard. One small issue I think is that the cast is a bit small. I thought it'd be a bit bigger with like more characters, but looks like it's just like the two girls from like the rich girl school, and also like Rinsuro and his friends. So you know, the anime is still high quality, just like cute wholesome romance show, but also I feel like it's lacking a bit of substance. But yeah, that's just me. I'm a bit of a hater, but again, it's wholesome. If you need something chill, this is pretty good. You also have Kaiju number 8, so we're at episode 7 for season 2. It's a bit boring. So there was one like big escalation here that happened this season that kind of like, you know, shifted the status quo and everything, where Shinomiya, he died, so he got killed by Kaiju number 9. and his body got taken. So it looks like Kaiju number 9, he needed more power. So yeah, he had the gauntlet power, and now he just controls Shinomiya's body. It looks like the body's kind of rejecting him, so that's why he kind of runs underground and he has to like hide until it's compatible. So he's kind of like laying low for now, but bro, this dude's like way overpowered. It's a bit annoying, and also after that, yeah, people are trying to gear up to defeat him. We see there's like this suit from Kaiju number 6 that they give to Reno. So he's like the white haired dude that's like kind of proficient in like the ice bullets. But also it's kind of like, I wouldn't say shonen slop. It's just like a bit boring, generic, characters and going through some like cheesy training arcs. But season 2 hasn't been as powerful as season 1 so far, but also, there's still a bit of episode left to go. Maybe some cool shit will happen, like some final Kaiju fight to wrap up, because the anime does have really cool Kaiju fights, some like decent animations. But besides that, I guess, some sad moments, we meet more characters, and more people are getting stronger as Kaiju number 8 does continue. And then we also have some 2 core anime, so yeah, Witch Watch, I've been loving every season. It is so good, so wholesome. Just like Nico doing a lot of like crazy shit with her magic, and the story does progress in a good way, where we meet all these characters, and then there's like hanging out this house, there's Miharu, he meets some friends in his school, and comedy's insanely good. We see their YouTube channel gimmicks are also continuing, where Nico has like a spell TS Revolution that just like turns you into the opposite gender. So yeah, like Keigo was getting like not enough views on his videos. He turns into a girl. The whole cast turns into girls, and they get like an insane amount of views. There's also 2B Hero X to wrap up with. So we're at episode 22. Insane. Not that much to say. Just like one of the best superhero shows in a while. Just like animated. It's so clean. We see X in this most recent episode, spoilers, but yeah, he's here. Giga Chad dude, like, I was kind of sad that he, like, no-diffed Queen. It looks like he's the dude here that's trying to, like, help people, and all the other, like, evil hero companies are trying to, like, defeat him. We see, like, yeah, Fear Points are, like, playing a part here. We see Nice, he's very traumatized. So I guess that's why he killed himself, so yeah, that was cool as well. So the story does continue. Kind of excited to see what X will do as we kind of, like, reach the finale. I said there were theories that X, he can turn the 3D into 2D, and that actually came true, so yeah, these people are cooking. And yeah, I just love this anime, just like an insanely good, high quality show. I'll talk more about like the most current episode next week, but yeah, a lot of shit is happening, more characters here. We see Lolly, she had some like traumatic stuff happening there. Queen kind of showed up to help everybody. We see Little Johnny with Big Johnny, and now this current arc was with Nice, Smile, and Dragon Boy, and also X. And as it this week, thank you for watching. These are the shows I've been keeping up with so far. There's like a bit more, like those random fantasy shows. There's some like shitty romance shows. Also Cleva Test, I haven't talked about it, but yeah, it's also been like really insanely good. I like Cleva Test, so I'll probably talk about it more next week. And yeah, besides that, that's it for the shows this week. Thank you for watching, keeping up with anime this season. There's a lot of like cool shows this summer, so that type, Dandadan and City the Animation, I do recommend them. They're like very unique this season. And I guess there's like some more reveals for anime next season, and like in the coming years. There's Spy Family season 3, some trailers are there. There's the Jujutsu Kaisen trailers. So it's going to be in the winter, like the Culling games. That's like pretty insane. Free Rent's coming up, Hell's Paradise, a lot of other stuff. So, cool stuff coming up in the future. So yeah, look out for that. But yeah, besides that, thank you for watching.